Hi folks, Larry Wexler here with another presentation from Lockdown Videos. These are a set of videos inspired by the coronavirus lockdown. These videos are hastily produced, relatively useless, but short. Hopefully you'll find them entertaining. Today we're going to focus on yard waste and recycling and point out some common mistakes that are made using these two services.
The first thing we need to talk about when talking about yard waste and recycling is what's the difference between the two. What I'm showing here are two bins. The green one is used for yard waste. The blue one is used for recycling. Depending on your provider, you may have different bins in different colors. When we look at the yard waste bin, this large green bin, yard waste is typically where you can deposit used grass clippings, plants, flowers, any kind of organic material that can break down, you can put in your yard waste bin. As opposed to the recycling bin. Recycling is where you put clean bottles. They can be glass, they can be plastic. You can put clean paper in the recycling bin. Now, in our family, I won't mention who, some people say, can you put this in the recycling? What they really mean is, can you put it in the yard waste bin? So just be careful using the terms yard waste versus recycling. It's an important distinction. On the yard waste bin for a moment, we typically keep our yard waste bin outdoors. Why? Because we put all of our gardening byproducts in this yard waste bin, and since we do that outside, it's easier to have the bin outside. Also, many providers will allow you, if you fill your yard waste bin, to have paper bags full of yard waste material. In our case, we can put up to 7 of these bags out along with our large yard waste container. That's very handy. And remember, no poop in the yard waste bin. Now, talking about recycling, because the recycling bin is so large and it obviously would not fit in the kitchen, in our house, what we do is we keep a smaller container in our kitchen to put recycled items in there. So I'm showing you our container here. Now, this is a good example here because you can see contained in the bin are a number of items, and there are a number of common mistakes and problems here. So let's go through them. First of all, you can see there are bottles here that are laying down. It's much better to keep your bottle standing up. Why? Because if there's any residual fluid left in these bottles and you lay them down, they could leak, they could get in the bin, they can get on the counter. Stand them up. Also, if you have too many bottles that are laying down flat and they pile high, they can easily fall out. So it's better to have the bottles standing up like this. Now here's one common mistake we should focus on. Here's a plastic bottle which theoretically is recyclable. It's some kind of fancy hand lotion. But notice, it is dirty. This has not been cleaned out. You can't put dirty bottles and cans in the recycle bin. So this one, I would say, either wash it or don't put it in the recycle bin. Another common mistake, here we have an egg carton, and again, on the inside of this, we have some eggshells. These are also not technically recyclable. The cardboard would be if it was nice and clean, but you could just as easily take something like this and put it in the yard waste bin. It's perfectly fine there. Next, we have a cardboard box. Look, notice this cardboard box has not been broken down. Any box you have, you should always break down before you put in the recycling bin. Here's a good example. This one is broken down, and that would be fine to put in there. So those are a few things to watch out for. Now, when recycling plastic, pay particularly close attention to the type of container. So here's a plastic container, and if I turn this over, you can see that right on the back here, it does say, please recycle. So you know you can recycle it. The other thing to look for, though, is on most plastic containers, there is a symbol that tells you the type of plastic it is. It's a little hard to see here, but you can see this. It looks like it's a number 1, if you can read that. There will be different types of plastic, and they'll have different numbers in that little triangle symbol. So if you're not sure which you can recycle, check with your recycle provider. For me, I typically will take these containers and just assume they're recyclable. Just be careful with the lids. Lids are kind of a different animal. Most plastic lids will have a recycle symbol on them, but they're not always accepted by your provider. So again, you might want to check with your provider which ones can be recycled or not. And finally, with recycling, if you have your own little container in the kitchen, having it sit on top of the Boboldi package is totally optional.
Well, that's it for today. Hopefully you found the video entertaining and maybe even educational. As always, we'd appreciate your comments. So if you have any thoughts, suggestions, or comments, please feel free to enter them in the comment field if you're watching this on Facebook. And I know that many of you are probably sitting there thinking, how can I make a donation to Lockdown Videos? Hey, listen, don't worry about that. A better thing to do would be, if you have anything to donate, please provide masks, hand sanitizer, or even money to your local healthcare providers who are on the front lines. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye.